5 years ago, I became pregnant with Leo's child. Through this child, I married into Leo's family and became his rightful wife. For the past 5 years, Leo has shown extreme indifference towards me and the child. 3 days ago, our child tragically died in a car accident. Leo and Tiffany went to Siberia to fulfill a childhood promise. Even on the third day after Nick's death, Leo didn't show up. People came and went at the funeral parlor, their faces displaying feigned sorrow and regret. But only I knew that it was all fake. Standing in the dining hall, about to drink a glass of water, I overheard women gossiping behind me. The kid has been dead for days, and still no sign of his father. Don't you know? Know what? The voice lowered, turning into a whisper. Leo went to the snow mountains in Siberia with Lucy. That place has no signal. Couldn't reach him no matter how many times I tried. Must be doing it on purpose. The woman who spoke smirked. Everyone knows she used her unplanned pregnancy to enter this family. If not for her, Leo and Lucy would have been together long ago. Amidst the chaos of voices, overwhelmed by grief, I eventually fainted at the funeral parlor. Upon waking up from being fed a pill, I heard a lot of noise around me. My head was throbbing. I turned my face into the pillow, trying to escape reality. The damp, salty taste hit my nostrils. It was the tears I shed these days. My tears had soaked the pillow, but Leo still hadn't come back. Amidst the commotion, a heavy footstep approached and someone in the crowd said, "Leo, you finally decided to show up." Leo? Impossible. He was far away in Siberia with Lucy. How could he be back? Even if he wanted to return, would Lucy allow it? She had purposely chosen Nick's birthday to take Leo on an international flight with her. That night, with his head down, the candles on the cake almost burnt out, the light reflecting on his round face, showing his despair. He loved sweets so much, but didn't touch it, asking in his innocent voice, "Mom, when will Dad come back?" He didn't cry or make a fuss, always mature beyond his years, knowing that his father didn't love him, let alone his mother. For the past 5 years, Nick's only wish was for his father to spend a birthday with him. But when he passed away, that wish remained unfulfilled. A chair was dragged next to me, someone sat down. The smell, it was the person who had been my bedmate for 5 years. Just with his breath, movements, even a glance, I could feel it all. I once yearned for his closeness, but now, I couldn't even bring myself to look at him. Leo sat down and said softly, "I'm sorry." Sorry, again. When he was about to leave for Siberia with Lucy, I blocked his way, grabbing his sleeve pleadingly. "Can you postpone it to tomorrow? Today is Nick's 5th birthday, he wants to celebrate with you." After so many years of marriage, I knew I had no right to ask for anything from him. This marriage was not what he wanted. But when it came to Nick, I always wanted to ask. Unsurprisingly, Leo removed my hand, expressionless. "Sorry, Lucy is waiting for me." But his child was waiting for him too. But this time, Nick was truly angry. He would never wait for him again. Feeling cold all over, I curled up, burying my head deep. Leo sat beside me. He knew I was awake. He was so sensitive and suspicious, knowing my every move and intention throughout these years. 1, afraid I might plot against him again, and 2, afraid I might hurt his lover. "Are you awake?" Leo's tone showed no sadness, only urgency. "The people downstairs have left, come and eat something." How could he be so calm, as if the one who died wasn't his child? Indeed. For so many years, he had never considered Nick as his child, or me as his wife. After all, if it wasn't for my mother's scheme, I wouldn't have been able to enter Leo's bed and become his wife. Leo hated me, hated my mother. Thinking about Nick, I felt a pang in my heart, buried my face into the wet pillow, my voice hoarse and muffled, choked up. "Have you seen Nick yet? Just seeing him is enough." I tried hard to control my sobs. "You can leave now." Leo's voice was calm, almost nonchalant. "I didn't receive any calls, the communication equipment failed after entering the mountains. I'm telling the truth. This is either emphasizing or finding excuses for myself. Whatever it is, I don't care anymore. Go out." Leo didn't leave and he looked at me disapprovingly. "Tiffany, how could you let a young child go out alone? I am the child's father. I think you owe me an explanation. Explanation. I chuckled softly, then moved my limbs and sat up. I must look extremely ugly, with tear stains on my face, pressure marks on my skin, sunken eye sockets, lifeless eyes, pale face, resembling a skeleton from a distance. On the other hand, Leo sat upright in his formal attire, icy and stern, devoid of sadness or tears. He was like an interrogating police officer, and I, as a mother, became the criminal. What are you laughing at? Leo frowned and asked. I'm laughing at you. I leaned against the headboard, fragile like paper, easily torn apart, but still sharp at the edges. Do you know where Nick wanted to go when he left? I stared at Leo, signaling him to continue. He wanted to find you. He called you many times, but you never answered once. He said, Dad might be lost and unable to find his way home, so he was going out to look for you. Leo hesitated. Did you try to stop him? I could deceive him once or twice, but he was worried about his dad when suddenly, I felt pitiful and ridiculous. Why bother explaining to him? I paused, took a deep breath. It's my fault. In just a few words, a storm was stirred up in the cold space, and Leo's gaze took on a hint of scrutiny. Facing his eyes, I said word by word, I was wrong to naively fall in love with you, and then mistakenly got married to you and had Nick. I was wrong to give birth to him, let him suffer, and failed to protect him. In Leo's intensely oppressive gaze, I smiled. The biggest mistake was not letting go of the fantasy about you, thinking we could go back to how things were. Leo's expression blank, was momentarily speechless. When that slap landed, neither Leo nor I had time to react. Someone rushed in from outside, crying and shouting loudly, then after hitting me, grabbed my shoulder. You can't even take care of a child. Are you even fit to be a mother? The one hitting me was Leo's younger sister. She was arrogant and insolent, didn't like me at all, especially didn't like Nick. She pushed Nick, gave him a rotten peach to eat, whispered in his ear that his father hated him. The sorrowful wailing at this moment was just a show in front of Leo. I sat numbly, taking several slaps, blood trickling from the corner of my mouth. Leo, this husband, looked on indifferently, unmoved, with indifference in his eyes. From the past until now, he never reached out a helping hand when Nick and I needed it most. My hair was being pulled, it hurt. In the midst of insults, I met Leo's cold eyes. Once, if I tripped and scraped my skin, he would be extremely concerned, frowning and asking if it hurt. Times have changed. Now, I'm being hit in front of him, and he can just watch coldly. Over the years, from a young infatuation with Leo, to cautiously loving him when he was hot and cold, then marrying him in a scheme, becoming his wife. I used to love him, hoped, and felt guilty. But now, the tension held for so many days snapped. I suddenly sat up, grabbed Leo's sister's arm, and retaliated with a slap. She was stunned, covering her face, eyes wide with disbelief. In this home, except for Leo, I haven't wronged anyone, including Nick. This slap, I should return it. On the day of going to the cemetery, I had lingering wounds on my face, the left cheek swollen, a few scratches on the chin. If Leo hadn't intervened to pull me away from his sister, the injury might have been worse. But it was me Leo pushed away. Sitting in the car, a chill came from all directions, but I didn't feel the cold, staring blankly out the window. Leo sat beside me, then answered a call. It was from Lucy. On the day of Nick's burial, as his father, but he had to take a call from another woman at this time. His tone was always careless, but he had a special patience for Lucy. Yes, it will be a few more days. You can go back now. Huh? I half turned my body, feeling Leo's gaze sweep over, then handed me the phone. Lucy wants to talk to you. In the past, I would have thrown the phone out. But after losing Nick, what's the point of doing these things again? In Leo's surprised gaze, I smiled as I answered the phone, pressing it to my ear. The screen still held Leo's warmth. I used to long for him, his scent, voice, and warmth, wanting to be close. But now, just a touch made me sick. Lucy's voice came through the receiver, still casual and cheerful. Tiffany, how are you? I remained silent, feeling the aura of the people around me pressuring me, as if I dared to say something heavy to Lucy, Leo would immediately kick me out of the car. He had done such a thing before. It was on a snowy night, when I made a call to Lucy in front of him, warning her not to destroy someone else's family, which angered Leo, who threw the phone and drove me away. That night I walked in the icy wilderness for 2 hours. Later, I burned for a week, but he never came to see me. It was Nick lying beside my bed, his childish little hands on my forehead, calling for me, Mom. I survived for Nick. If that child didn't have me, how could he survive in Leo's family? But now, I lost him. The life in me was being drained bit by bit, losing the will to survive. In my ear, Lucy kept asking, Tiffany, are you okay without your child? She spoke very softly, not letting Leo hear. You must be not okay, because you lost your bargaining chip. Nick was indeed my bargaining chip to marry Leo. Without this child, I couldn't enter Leo's home. But without this child, what's the point of staying in Leo's home? This was not where I wanted to be, not from the beginning. I moved my dry and sore throat a bit, then I'll give him back to you. Lucy was stunned. What? I'll give him back to you. I was wrong again. I shouldn't have said that. Sorry, he was yours to begin with. The phone was immediately snatched away. Leo hung up the call, with an incredulous expression full of hostility. What nonsense are you talking to Lucy about again? What can a mother, who has lost her child, say to her husband's lover? There were no warnings, no curses, just letting go. Letting go, to let lovers be together, this relationship, I had no strength to pursue anymore. I didn't even want this life anymore. In a drizzle, Nick was buried. The photo on the tombstone was taken when he was 3 years old. We had agreed to take a family portrait that day. Nick and I arrived early, waited from morning till night, surrounded by happy families, chatting and laughing, posing under the photographer's guidance. Amidst the laughter, my and Nick's absurdity was more pronounced. I could bear Leo's coldness, but what about Nick? Under the gloomy weather, at the cold tombstone, the photo on the stone didn't smile. After all, that day, Nick endured his loss to take the photo, not wanting to make me unhappy. Someone held an umbrella beside me. I bowed my head, prayed and repented in front of Nick's tombstone, praying that in the next life, he could have loving parents, not to endure the same cold eyes as in this life. Rain brushed past, and someone walked by. It looked like Leo. I opened my heavy eyelids, saw his black coat passing by, bending down to leave something in front of Nick's grave. When he stood up, I saw it clearly. It was a set of racing blocks. My heart skipped a beat, feeling puzzled. I grabbed Leo's sleeve, afraid of acting crazy in front of so many relatives and friends. What is that? I asked calmly. Leo turned around, looked back. It's a birthday gift for Nick that he wanted to give you, but he didn't make it in time. He wanted to give it to you. We agreed on it. Startled by my desolate look, Leo grabbed my wrist. What's wrong? My legs weakened, my body twisted as if a knife was twisting inside me. I knelt in front of Nick's grave, realizing that on his last birthday, my child received a fake birthday gift, yet he still smiled. Nick must have known that I bought that watch, but I said it was from Dad. He gladly accepted it and even said he wanted to thank his dad. He knew everything. He knew that for years, his dad never loved him, never even prepared a birthday gift for him. Only after death did he receive a late gift. But what's the point? The atmosphere at home was heavy. Leo's father was waiting for him, holding a cane in his hand, his thick eyebrows furrowed, speaking gently to me. Tiffany, you go upstairs first. I knew. His father was going to deal with Leo again. Leo's father was the only person in the family who liked me, trusted me, and supported my marriage into the family, all because my father saved him in a critical situation. Without my father, the pillar of the family collapsed. In return for my father's favor, Leo's family gave my mother a maid job, which was easy and well paid. Leo's father also arranged for me to attend the same school as Leo, instructing him to take care of me like a sister. Leo did indeed do so, but I was foolish enough to fall for him. Leo's father found out that Leo was late at Nick's funeral and dismissed everyone, preparing to discipline him. The maid ran up and dragged me, her voice hoarse, desperately pleading with me. Mr. usually likes you the most. Please go and say a few good words. You must go quickly, Why do I have to go? In the past, I loved Leo wholeheartedly. Even when he got scolded or hurt, I felt worse than him. But all of that was because I loved him. Later, as I watched him running around for Lucy day and night, my love faded away. Guilt and self-blame started to consume me. Many times I wanted to leave with Nick, but Leo's father, with his weary eyes, pleaded me to stay. It was for Nick's sake, for my mother's wish. I shouldn't have agreed. Leaving behind the facade of Leo's wife, I dressed in the simplest clothes, with nothing in my suitcase that belonged to me, or for Nick. I took off my earrings, placed them under the dressing table. After making sure I didn't take anything that wasn't mine, a sigh rose from the bottom of my heart. Evading the housekeeper, I went downstairs. Leo was already beaten, kneeling on the ground. He grit his teeth, enduring the pain. When his red eyes met mine, I didn't spare him a second glance. Leo's father approached, dropping his cane. He was the person I respected the most in that house. He provided me with a good environment and education, a place for my mother and me to stay. Even now, I was grateful to him. Uncle, I addressed him again, not as father. Do you remember the day I arrived? Leo's father held my hand and placed it on Leo's hand, urging him earnestly, Tiffany is a good child. Treat her well. Just like the day I came to Leo's house with my mother, he introduced me to Leo in the same way. From now on, Tiffany is your sister, study together, take care of her. The difference was, the young Leo could still smile at me back then. He took care of me in school, took me to the canteen, waited for me after school, and even dragged me to watch him play basketball. Outside the court, there were crowds of girls who liked him, yet he still wanted me by his side. He was so dazzling, exceptional, always the center of attention wherever he went. I, on the other hand, was as ordinary as can be. When I was with him, I always kept my head down, dressed plainly, tied my hair in a ponytail. I was too shy and introverted to be likable. People at school knew that Leo liked being with me, because his father owed my father a favor. He was kind and didn't mind my awkwardness and shyness, always taking me wherever he went. But when Lucy appeared one day, everything changed. She became the one watching Leo play outside the court, the one eating at the canteen with him. How she stealthily emerged by Leo's side, I couldn't recall. All I remembered was that at first, I didn't realize anything. Leo's inexplicable coldness toward me and a classmate's remark in the restroom made me step back. After that, I distanced myself from Leo, refusing to eat with him, go to school with him, and even avoid seeing him at home. But when I appeared in the canteen with a male classmate, Leo came over, standing by the table, looking down on me as if I were beneath him and asked, "Are you dating someone now?" Eventually, by a twist of fate, I broke up Lucy and Leo, and it was time to return that position to Lucy. As Leo stood up from the ground, seemingly unaffected by the beating, he looked at me, but I turned to Leo's father, saying, "Uncle, I've left everything that should stay in the bedroom. I'll be leaving today. Moving out, getting a divorce." I had discussed this with Leo's father a few days ago, and though he disagreed and tried to persuade me to stay as he did in the past years, he also knew that without Nick, I wouldn't stay in the cage my mother had built for me. Leo looked puzzled, not understanding what his father and I were talking about. "Where are you going?" One sentence from him angered Leo's father. "You brute, shut up." Leo furrowed his brows, his expression complex. "Tiffany is my wife. Do I not have the right to ask where she's going?" He knew I was his wife, but somehow, I was never recognized as such. Leo's father was so upset that he clutched his chest, his complexion turning pale. I went to support him and whispered, "Uncle, please calm down." Uncle expressed deep regret for the breakdown of my marriage with Leo, knowing that the fault lay with Leo. He didn't blame me. "This was my fault, for not raising this boy properly and letting you suffer, and if your mother knew, they would surely blame me." "Uncle, it's all right." I helped him sit down, meeting Leo's inquisitive gaze. "Take care of Uncle, he's not feeling well." After many days without the sadness and tears from before, my calm demeanor now seems even more mournful. Passing by Leo, he grabbed my wrist and demanded to know where I was going and why. Not wanting to linger on him any longer, I barely glanced at him and forcefully pushed his hand away. On the third day after leaving Leo's home, I fainted at my own house. It was expected. I had been diagnosed with stomach cancer 2 months ago when Nick was still around. I had been cooperating with treatment, and the day I received the diagnosis, I had confided in Leo. But all I received in return was his cold indifference. He had long held a deep hatred towards me, and I realized my mistake too late. I had planned to get better and leave Leo's home with Nick. Now it seemed I needed to go find Nick instead. What I didn't mention that day was that Nick had run out to find Leo, because I had fainted in pain, not knowing to call an ambulance, but instinctively seeking his father. To my surprise, at the end of my life, I opened my eyes only to see Eric standing before me. Eric and I were classmates back in school. Despite his humble background and excellent grades, Eric always focused on his studies and stood in stark contrast to Leo's privileged and arrogant demeanor. Leo used to say Eric was putting on airs and warned me to keep my distance. I defended Eric, and Leo criticized me for being blind to his true nature. I knew Eric wanted to become a doctor and believed he would succeed, but I never expected that I would become his first patient after his return from further studies abroad. Dressed in his white coat, Eric looked quite impressive standing by the bedside, accentuating my own misery and desolation. It reminded me of our school days when Eric would often look at me disapprovingly and ask, "Tiffany, how can you sleep so soundly when you perform so poorly in exams?" I used to shrug and say, "Leo will take me abroad for studies. He says I don't need to work so hard." Eric's expression would always be complicated in those moments, and looking back now, I finally understood what was going on in his mind. Relying on someone who doesn't love you always ends in tragedy. And indeed, I am a living example of that. But regardless, Eric saved my life. I lifted my hand with the needle inserted and weakly curved my stiff fingers to flash a smile at him. Hey. Perhaps Eric didn't want to engage with me, so he sent a nurse to look after me. I had been brought in by a neighbor, and the medical expenses hadn't been paid yet. The nurse kindly asked for a contact number for a family member. I cheerfully replied, "No parents, no family." The nurse was filled with sympathy, and even the hand that was removing the needle seemed gentler as Eric suggested, "Let's take some x-rays and do a comprehensive checkup on you." Struggling to put on my old coat that I had left behind at Leo's house, I remembered I hadn't taken anything with me when I left. Those things weren't mine, and I was afraid Leo would come looking for them. I really didn't want to see that person again. The old coat, worn and not very warm, had developed some fuzz at the cuffs and didn't look very appealing. I pulled on the coat and stood up. No need, I just fainted from exhaustion. I'm perfectly fine. At Leo's house, apart from his uncle, no one had respected me. They all knew I was a dependent, had calculated their way into Leo's bed, and had thus assumed the role of Leo's wife. Over the years, I hadn't enjoyed the treatment or love befitting Leo's wife, instead living more like a maid. The nurse, half believing my story, was still puzzled, as my complexion wasn't much worse than the critically ill patient next door. Of course, I was a late-stage stomach cancer patient, but that was a secret. When Nick was around, I had to protect him, running to many hospitals privately to seek treatment options, writhing in pain, vomiting excessively. I took the payment slip to the counter and paid. Clutching my stomach, I walked out of the payment line with great difficulty. In my blurred view, it seemed like I saw Leo wearing the coat I had bought him, embracing another woman. At that moment, I wished my consciousness could blur even more, so I wouldn't have to see the scarf I had knitted for Leo around Lucy's neck. After he had taken it, I had asked many times about the scarf, and he had just said he had forgotten. It turned out he had given it to Lucy. He could have just thrown it away, but chose a different way to shame me. I wasn't surprised. Instead, I felt a strange calmness. Perhaps in that moment, Leo had exhausted all the love and guilt I had for him, along with Nick's death. Left childless in my marriage, with nothing to my name, he got his wish with someone new by his side. In the bustling halls of the hospital, I remembered the many times I had given Leo ties, only to see Lucy use them as rags. On his mother's death anniversary, I had waited until midnight, only to find a post on Lucy's social media saying, "You're always so heartwarming. Even the scarf Tiffany painstakingly knitted stitch by stitch is wrapped around your neck. It was something my mother had taught me, and it was the first thing I had knit. When I gave it to Leo, I had nervously hoped for a smile from him, but received nothing. He just took it and said, "Don't bother next time." He wanted to tell me that no matter how hard I tried, it was all in vain. But I just wanted to make amends, to be a good wife. At that moment, standing beside me, pulling on my dress hem to comfort me, was Nick. He said, "Mom, don't be sad. Dad is just being stubborn." Silly, how could he be stubborn to someone he likes? He's never stubborn with Lucy. A month after Nick died, I started relying on painkillers to survive. The pain intensified as my body deteriorated, becoming unbearable. I had to take painkillers to resist it. After each bout of vomiting, I felt like an empty shell, with my stomach and insides emptied. I had to take a lot of painkillers, holding Nick's favorite teddy bear to fall asleep. In a daze, I always wondered if Nick felt the same pain when he passed away. He didn't have painkillers to take. His departure must have been painful. It's my fault. I didn't take care of him. My Nick. Before losing consciousness, I heard the knocking on the door. If the pain weren't still there, I'd probably take it as a death knell. Eric standing at the door made my expression even worse. He used to be indifferent. When I asked him questions, he would ignore me. Why is he like this now? "Tiffany, your condition is not good. You should go to the hospital for a checkup. He's a doctor, a good one. He can tell my condition at a glance." Eric's appearance hasn't changed much from the past, just a little more mature. The arrogance between his brows has deepened. As Leo said, he's aloof, and people like that can't stand insults. It's a pity to offend anyone before dying. "Eric, don't you have other patients?" I tried to portray myself as a difficult woman. "How much commission will you get if you run more tests on me?" Eric's eyelids twitched. "Tiffany, I'll give you money, just don't bother me." After saying that, I handed him the money. "Is this enough?" Eric left. Of course, who would tolerate an unreasonable patient dying alone? That's my best ending. After taking the pills and pulling the curtains to rest, I saw two figures downstairs. It was Eric and Leo. How did he find his way here? Shouldn't he be with Lucy at this time? The two were arguing and about to fight. I rushed downstairs despite my discomfort, stood between them. I felt powerless, unable to look up. "What are you doing here?" Leo, with his long coat swaying in the evening breeze, under the moonlight, looked cold and distant. His eyes were full of hostility and aggression towards Eric, just like when we were in school. Any interaction with Eric, whether he was using my things or getting water for me, would make him angry for a long time. Leo asked me, "Tiffany, do you not have hands? Do you need someone to help you?" He doesn't allow other men to help me, but he can give all his kindness to Lucy. In the past, I loved him and distanced myself from many people for him. Now, I just want to follow my heart. I stood in front of Eric, turned and urged him to leave quickly. Leo and Eric were staring at each other with silent tension, and if it weren't for my request, he wouldn't leave like that. Leo, seeing this, showed a cold smile. "Having a good time here, running around with your lover." In his eyes, being ignored by her husband, disliked by everyone, losing a child, is a good time. After marriage, he hated me, humiliated me. I can understand. It was my fault for ruining his relationship with Lucy. I'm about to die. He shouldn't be here. I calmly told him that I didn't want this so-called good life he mentioned. "Give it to Lucy. I wish you a lifetime of happiness with her." I said it calmly, without hysteria or breakdown, just like the day I left Leo's house, as simple as saying I won't eat here anymore. Leo showed a hint of imperceptible surprise in his pupils. Perhaps all these days, he thought my divorce was just a momentary impulse due to Nick's death. After all, I had mentioned leaving before, but it never came to fruition. He questioned, "Tiffany, have you thought this through?" It was my firmest decision, and it wouldn't change. "Me leaving, wasn't that your wish for all these years?" After a moment of silence, Leo nodded, with a mocking smile, "That's your call." If you regret it later, don't come begging me. Watching him walk away, I couldn't help but wonder if I still had a future. That night, I came across Lucy's social media update. It was a picture of a new diamond ring between her fingers. As cancer cells spread in my body, I didn't know how far it had progressed, but I faced it with a smile, even looking forward to death. Because that day, I would finally be able to see Nick again. Half a month without seeing him, I miss him a lot. But many days without seeing Leo, I didn't even think of him once. In the past, I took care of him in every possible way, but now it seems like I never even crossed his mind. When Leo was away on business, I packed his bags, took care of the house, handled family matters, managed social obligations, and even helped him when he got drunk. I changed his clothes, fed him sobering soup, but he always seemed closer to Lucy. Even when he answered the phone, it was always Lucy on the other end. Lucy had naturally become the woman by Leo's side. She once told me smugly, "Leo is asleep. No wonder he's fed up with you, always bothering him." I told her, "Take good care of him." Do I really need to say that? Do you really think you can marry him if you hadn't schemed your way into his life? At that moment, I was speechless. Without all these things, my life has become much easier. To keep up appearances, I went to the hospital. Not for treatment, just to get some medicine to make it to Christmas. Nick loved Christmas so much. If I had gone to see him that day, he would have been happy. Walking among the crowded people, perhaps I looked too sickly, even though I was bundled up in thick clothes and a scarf, my thin frame was still evident. After getting the medicine and leaving the hospital, Eric in his white coat caught up with me. He frowned as he approached, his gaze fixed on my face. I covered my face with the scarf, fearing he might see something. Except for seriously ill people, no one could become so emaciated in a short time, to the point of looking sickly. "Tiffany," Eric began to say something, but then let out a sigh. "Where are you going now?" In a low voice, I answered, "The bus station." "I'll take you there," he said. I felt tears welling up inexplicably. I wanted to refuse, but Eric had already started walking ahead. The road in front of the hospital was always crowded, not just with me, a person with a terminal illness, feeling lonely. Eric's voice came from beside me. "After I left, did Leo get the wrong idea about you? He always had misunderstandings about me spending time with you." I shook my head. "No, we are divorced. When I heard you got married while I was abroad, I was surprised. When I was leaving the country, he came to see me, threatened me, and said you." Eric trailed off, looking at the shadows on the ground, and chuckled to himself. "Forget it. But Leo is such a contradiction. He asked me not to like you, yet always talked about you as his sister." I stopped walking. When did he say that? When Lucy appeared. I remembered back, before Lucy showed up, Leo would sometimes suddenly grab my soda, drink from the same container, then lean in to kiss my cheek. He would remind me with a smile, "Don't drink too fast. This can is mine now." But that was all so long ago, to the point where I almost forgot we had such lovely memories together. Many people noticed the ambiguous relationship between us. At first, Leo didn't explain. I found him, followed him, and in the dusk of that day, his figure elongated under the phoenix trees, his eyes filled with tenderness. "Why don't you explain?" I asked him. He replied with a question, "Explain what?" In the bustling atmosphere, Leo blinked, about to say something, but the driver's car came to take us home. Once back home, Leo went straight to the study and stayed there for a long time. Since then, Leo became distant, no longer took me out for dinner, and never came to pick me up. When I went looking for him, he coldly said, "Don't bother me." I didn't know what was wrong. I did my best to please him, but it was all in vain. Soon after, Lucy appeared, and he no longer drank my soda, stopped kissing me, and distanced himself from me even more. When friends asked him, "Aren't you with Tiffany? Why are you so unclear with Lucy?" he frowned in displeasure, saying, "I only treat Tiffany as a sister. If it weren't for her father, she wouldn't even deserve that." That's why when I called him on my birthday, Leo suddenly turned dark and warned me in a cold voice, "Tiffany, you live here because of your father, not for any other reason." Don't go around telling people about our relationship. Before you speak, ask yourself if you even deserve it. It was such a cold statement that it broke my heart. A few days later, my mother told me not to have any lofty fantasies, that we were just guests in Leo's house, and should be cautious in everything we did. Since then, I put away any inappropriate fantasies and admiration, until all these feelings began to fade, and my mother sent me to Leo's bed again. I spent the rest of my life regretting and remorseful. Facing Eric, I said, "Leo and I have no relationship at all." It only took a few hours for those words to reach Leo's ears. The desolate night sky enveloped the dark vehicles. Leo stood by the car, his coat off, wearing just a suit. Smoke curled around his fingertips and draped his body, making him look unreal, like he had no real connection to anything. "No relationship," he said. "Tiffany, you bore me a child." He even knew about our child. Eric must have told him. I didn't have the strength to investigate further. I just smiled and said, "The child is gone, so there's no relationship left, right?" Leo was momentarily speechless. As a cigarette was about to burn out, his fingertips were about to be scorched. He said tenderly, "Tiffany, we can still have a child." "We can't. Nick was the only one. There won't be another." I didn't deny it, just carried on, "But you and Lucy can have many children." As for me, I just wanted to find a peaceful place to spend the last few days of my life. "And you?" Leo asked me, teasingly, "Will you and Eric have children?" My head was throbbing, not paying attention to his teasing. All I wanted was to rid myself of this painful man. It would be better never to see him again before I die. Every time I saw him again, I would be reminded of Nick. Even in my tone, there was a hint of burning bridges. "You can assume whatever you want." I turned around to leave, but Leo grabbed my arm and his cold face showed a hint of emotion. "Tiffany, have you forgotten that you are still my wife?" "Not anymore." The wind gushed into my throat, bringing a tangy sweetness. Leo looked at me closely, trying to decipher the truth in my words, and after a moment, he had his answer. "Tiffany, your attempts to scare me are as foolish as ever. Do you think you can survive without me?" Was it a scare tactic? No one would use their own life to scare someone. Besides, with or without him, it seems I can't go on living. This time, probably to force me to come back, Leo did not divide the divorce assets. He made every effort to embarrass me, even took back the house where I currently reside. I was homeless, while he was marrying someone new. No one can remarry within a month of their son's death, but Leo did it. The news of his upcoming marriage to Lucy traveled to my ears through many mouths. How joyous it was, and how angry it made Leo's father. How pleased those people were, and how much gossip they spread behind my back. I knew it all. But at this moment, it sounded like a joke to me. I am no longer a part of this joke, so why should I care? When Lucy called, I was swallowing medicine with warm water, bitter. The bitterness flowed through my body, making me want to vomit. "Tiffany, I'm going to marry Leo next month," she said without preamble, and I replied bluntly, "Congratulations." Then I hung up, continued taking the pills, but little did I know, when Lucy made that call, Leo was right beside her, looking crestfallen, with no trace of a groom. Perhaps now he realizes that my divorce was real, and that I truly have no feelings for him. Homeless, like a stray dog. When Leo called, he must have wanted to mock me. I was carrying my luggage, standing at the entrance of the station, looking at the bustling crowd coming and going, and Leo's almost dreamlike voice asked, "Tiffany, do you want to come back? I'll give you another chance." Why didn't Leo show such generosity when Nick was alive? It's too late. No one needs this kind of retention anymore. Clutching Nick's teddy bear in my hand, it still had the scent of a child on it, and it still held his body warmth faintly. When I touched it, it was like touching Nick's soul. "Leo, I will never go back, never." I looked down at the teddy bear's eyes, as if I were locking eyes with Nick's soul, and my voice trembled uncontrollably. "I'm sorry for the past, I apologize, on behalf of my mother. I actually intended to divorce you 2 years ago, but Uncle promised my mom to take care of me, he didn't agree. That's what delayed your relationship with Lucy, I'm truly sorry." After saying that, I hung up. Before boarding the bus, I received a text from Eric on my phone. "Tiffany, you have advanced stomach cancer. Why don't you come get treated?" Eric found me by the seaside. It was Nick's wish before he passed away, and I made a list, hoping to fulfill it within a limited time. First item, celebrate Dad's birthday. Crossed off. Second item, family trip to the seaside. After the divorce, I was the only family Nick had, so that wish was fulfilled. Standing by the seaside, the sand was soft and damp, the waves gently lapping at my feet, the vast blue sea stained with my tears. I wanted to clean it, but the crying wouldn't stop. If Nick was still here, I promised to take him. Wouldn't that be nice? At least he wouldn't leave with so many regrets. But back then, I always wanted it to be a family outing, and Leo couldn't be absent, but in the end, it was just me standing by the seaside alone. The sand blowing in the wind made every part of my body ache. I struggled all the way back to the hotel, but as I reached the door of my room, Eric stood there like a phantom. His overlapping figure, unabated anger, manifested his professional ethics as a doctor at that moment. "Tiffany, do you know you're playing with death? When a patient doesn't seek treatment and runs so far away, isn't it asking for death?" Before I could take the painkillers, I fainted in pain. Thankfully, having a doctor by my side when I fainted. Otherwise, I wouldn't even fulfill Nick's third wish. Eric wanted to take me to the hospital, but at my state, being in the hospital would just waste hospital expenses. I hardly have any money left now. Eric had previously paid for my medical bills. His family wasn't well off. He always wore a white shirt during school, collar and cuffs washed to a worn-out white, the lint visible under the sun, showing Eric's different life from Leo's wealth. His life was modest. It's because of this modesty that I must pay him back. The man I had been infatuated with for 10 years was no longer by my side, and the man who ultimately saved me, paid my hospital bills and medicine expenses, was Eric. I asked him, "Why are you being so kind to me? It's been a long time since anyone was this nice to me." Eric didn't say anything. He just brought a clean scarf and wrapped it around my neck, then said, "You were kind to me before." Really? I don't remember at all. Apparently, at this stage of illness, memory is affected. Back then, you only had eyes for Leo. Of course you wouldn't remember being kind to a person like me. I sensed bitterness in his tone. Eric knew how to save people. He brought me medicine, looked at my ailing appearance, and said with emphasis, "Painkillers won't save you. In your condition, you'd better start chemotherapy as soon as possible." Will chemotherapy save me? It will only make me suffer again, leave in an ugly way. I don't want that. I want to leave beautifully, so Nick can recognize me. I don't want to scare him. Eric's silence was the answer. He's a doctor, but facing cancer, no doctor can guarantee a patient's life with 100% certainty. Holding the cup of hot water, there was a sense of resignation that came with it. "Eric, since you're here, can you do me a favor?" Eric turned his face away, but I saw a glint of water in the corner of his eye. "If it's about taking care of your affairs after you pass, I won't help. It's not that. I wouldn't let this clean person have anything to do with such bad luck matters. Can you take a picture for me, and burn it for me after I die?" The terrace behind the seaside restaurant offers a magnificent view of the vast sea. I stood there, wearing clean clothes, but my fragile body couldn't tolerate standing in the gusty wind for too long. Eric helped me take a photo, capturing me posing with the sea, a picture I wanted to show Nick. I wanted to tell him that his wish had been fulfilled by Mom. Leaning against the terrace railing, I showed the first genuine smile in days. Eric did his best to take a beautiful picture for me, but a patient like me couldn't look beautiful. Just as I tried to force a smile for the best shot, a person suddenly appeared behind Eric and snatched the phone away. He looked down at the photos, all of them with me by the seaside, with Eric as the photographer. The pleasant atmosphere shattered as my photos were deleted one by one. In the surreal light and shadow, I saw Leo clutching the phone, his fingertips turning white, his jaw tense. His eyes seemed to accuse me of being unfaithful, as if he had caught a cheating couple. "Tiffany, how long have I been looking for you? These days, you've been with him." As Eric stepped forward, probably trying to explain my illness, I grabbed his hand, supporting my body with his. "I hadn't even congratulated you on your marriage yet." Glancing back, I called out to Lucy behind the door. Lucy! The four of us sat at the table, reminiscing about our school days. Many years had passed, but Lucy remained the one who talked the most at the table. She served me food without finding the situation absurd. Tiffany, we haven't seen each other for only a few days. Why have you lost so much weight? Not just weight loss, even my lips were pale. Leo followed Lucy's gaze, his eyes looking pained, but it was probably my imagination. How could he be in pain for me? What did it matter to Eric how he cared for me? What did it matter to Eric anyway? He was just an old classmate to me, a doctor who left his work to find me, persuade me to return for chemotherapy, and stayed with me for 2 days. I was already grateful enough. Why would Leo criticize him? How he cared for me was our business. This was the first time I had made Leo lose face. Following behind him during our school days, like his little tail, paying attention to him. Marrying him, taking care of him when he got sick, and now I was alone without him. Lucy gave a forced laugh and put her hand on Leo's back. Leo, look at me, Tiffany is surely fine. You worry too much, don't you? Leo withdrew his hand, and that's when I noticed Lucy's missing ring, the one Leo was wearing. It was our wedding ring. What did this mean? Throughout the years of marriage, I was the only one who still wore the ring, just like this marriage, always a one-woman show. I quit acting, and Leo put the ring back on, which was too ironic. Tiffany, I remember you used to love spicy food the most. Lucy said as she placed a piece of roasted lamb in my bowl, the strong spicy smell making my throat uncomfortable. Eric pushed the plate away, saying, the past is in the past. Just because she used to like it, doesn't mean she still does. Eating spicy food with stomach cancer is deadly. Eric tried to defuse the situation, but Lucy teased him, remarking how he always liked to protect me. I always said you two were well matched, and now you're finally married. I haven't even congratulated you both yet. Are you done? Leo's tone was cold, his mouth shut firmly. Awkwardness and panic flashed on Lucy's face. How could he speak to her like that? I was even surprised. He cherished Lucy the most, sheltering her in his heart. Yet now, for a simple joke, he had turned cold. Why did he intervene now when he used to joke along with Lucy during our school days? The piece of meat was pushed towards me again. I didn't like it, but he always insisted I eat it. Will you be satisfied only if I eat it? Resigned, I picked up the chopsticks, tears welling up in my eyes. I once loved him, then felt guilty living with him, and now I had nothing, but he wanted to force me to die. Without waiting for his response, I ate the piece of meat under Leo's astonished gaze, Eric suddenly taking the chopsticks from me. Tiffany. Why were doctors always so surprised? It's not poison. I didn't want to die. I just wanted to get away from Leo. It was strange. I had longed to see him at the wedding, but he was never around. After the divorce, he kept showing up. But why would I need him now? Suddenly, the pain gripped me. I covered my mouth, face turning white. Eric stood up and blurted, "It's a good thing you're Tiffany's husband. She has stomach cancer." His voice trailed off abruptly. I held onto his hand tightly. Leo looked confused. Stomach what? Stomach disease. The words came out, and I couldn't help but cough, coughing up a crimson splash into my palm. But stomach issues shouldn't cause coughing up blood. Since returning from the seaside, Leo had been increasingly present, while my complexion worsened. He grabbed my hand to take me to the hospital. I shook off his hand. Don't bother me anymore, okay? My determination made Leo flustered. Tiffany, you never told me you had a stomach problem. My voice was dry, raspy like a rusty saw sawing through old wood, creating distance between Leo and me. It's just a stomach issue, you should go care for Lucy instead. You're not afraid I'll really marry her? Leo gripped my wrist tightly, his body temperature melding with mine. Without Nick, what's the point of being Leo's wife? Now I just want to wish you a large family. Leo may have more children in the future, but there will never be another Nick, his first child, the debt he can never repay in this lifetime. After Nick's death, Leo rarely showed his grief, but in a blink of an eye, he stood before me, full of sorrow, and said sincerely, "Tiffany, in your heart, is this child more important, or am I more important?" "Nick is important." I pressed my lips together, swallowing the pain and sorrow. Without Nick, our marriage wouldn't have lasted this long. In an instant, something shattered in Leo's eyes. I pushed him away, went upstairs, and locked the door, swallowing many painkillers. But before the effects of the medicine kicked in, the twisting pain in my abdomen caused chaos in multiple organs, as if a giant hand was roaming and torturing me from within. I rushed to the bathroom, vomiting, and caught a glimpse of a strand of unraveling red blood. Glancing down as I closed the window, Leo was still standing there, like a statue in the evening breeze and darkness. Exhausted, I collapsed on the bed. After some time passed, Leo's phone rang. He seemed drunk, not even aware of what he was saying. I only caught one sentence clearly, "Tiffany, I miss Nick." I hung up, painfully adding that number to the block list. I couldn't forgive myself. This illness was my punishment, one that I willingly accepted. But before I die, Nick's wishes had two more things left. The third wish, he asked his dad to promise to get him a kitten. He said all his kindergarten classmates had one and he wanted it too. But when Leo heard it, he showed disgust. He said to the child, "Don't you have enough by having one with you?" Leo didn't want another bond with me. I could understand that, but he shouldn't have spoken to the child that way. We had a big fight that day. He called me an unreasonable shrew, and I told him he didn't deserve to be a father. He sneered, "You think I wanted to be this father?" The blood surged to the soles of my feet. I rushed forward and slapped him. He pushed me onto the broken glass, my palm dripping blood as he callously left. That day I thought the driver had taken Nick to school, but he was hiding in the house. He wiped the blood off my hands, crying helplessly, his little face wrinkled and his hands wiping his tears, saying, "Mom, I don't want the kitten anymore. I don't want it anymore." Nick had few desires as he grew up. I wanted to fulfill his wish, so I bought him a kitten. It was also Snow White, very small and soft, well behaved in my arms, hardly meowing. Nick loved it very much, taking care of it diligently for a few days and named it Circle. The next few days, Leo didn't come home. But when he did, he threw Circle out. Nick said it was okay, but I knew he was sad for a long time. I went to a pet store, wanting to see more kittens for Nick. Their colors varied, some lazy, some lively. One of them was scratching the glass with its soft pink paws. It was all white, but had a black mark on its ear. I recognized it at a glance. It was Circle. It had gained some weight, chubby cheeks, quite round. When we first got it, it was so small that Nick could hold it in both hands. The day Leo threw Circle away, Nick didn't say anything, but the pillow was wet with tears the next day. Seeing Circle was like seeing Nick again. Overwhelmed with emotion, I tapped on the glass, startled the pet store staff, and they pushed me to leave, thinking I was crazy. I wasn't crazy. I was just too excited. Excited to have what was lost again. Nick's Circle was found again. Could I see Nick again? But the one who came to take Circle wasn't Nick, it was Lucy. She walked out of the pet store, her eyes met mine, then looked at the cat. "Tiffany, do you like this cat? Our Rose is so well behaved. Do you want to pet it?" It wasn't called Circle anymore, but it was Circle, I remembered. I suddenly reached out to grab the cat, scaring Lucy. "Tiffany, what are you doing? Are you accustomed to grabbing things? It's Nick's cat, not yours." I was emotionally shattered, my stomach writhing in pain, shouting loudly. Lucy looked amused. "Tiffany, Leo gave me this. Why does it belong to you? Isn't colonizing him for so many years enough? Now you want to steal a cat too." It was Leo. He took Nick's cat and gave it to Lucy. Who was he to do that? Even if he hated me, Nick was innocent. Since when did Leo give my things to Lucy? It probably started on his birthday. After Lucy appeared, Leo's eyes followed her. She was brilliant, dazzling, naturally matched with Leo. Leo would be upset if she didn't remember his birthday, or couldn't wait for her gift. Sitting on the stairs that day, Leo looked forlorn, gazing at the moon. Young as he was, his handsome features, the thin moonlight falling on his face, revealed the emptiness and desolation in his eyes. He asked me, "Tiffany, do you think she forgot my birthday?" He was talking about Lucy. I hid my own desolation, handed him the watch I bought for Leo by working hard, and said with a bitter smile, "Maybe she's busy, so here, this is for you." Taking it, Leo didn't even look at it. The next day he came to pick me up. Lucy was with him. I saw my watch on her wrist, and after that, there were many more instances, like when Uncle Leo assigned his driver to pick me up, who ended up picking Lucy instead. Lucy had to attend a competition, and Leo gave her my design drawings. And then later, there was the opportunity to study abroad. That day, he stood in front of me, open and honest, not a hint of guilt. "Tiffany, Lucy needs to go abroad more than you do. She's talented and shouldn't be wasted." On the same day, my mother was diagnosed with stomach cancer, with little time left. She hoped Leo would take me abroad. It was her dying wish, and Lucy had snatched it away. I couldn't help but sit by my mother's bedside and cry all night. I didn't know if I was crying over losing the chance to study abroad, my dying mother, or Leo's cruelty. At that time, I didn't understand how deadly a child's tears could be in a mother's eyes. It could even make my mother, who had lived a quiet and unremarkable life, take action against Leo. The night before Leo and Lucy were to go abroad, I slept in the same bed with him. I understood my mother's intentions. She was afraid Leo would marry Lucy, afraid I wouldn't have a place in Leo's family after she was gone, afraid I would be left with no support. If I had known the drink was spiked, I wouldn't have touched it. But Leo didn't believe me. He grabbed my neck on the bed in the hotel, accusing me of being with Eric and climbing into his bed. He said, "What's the meaning of this?" I said I didn't know. He laughed, a heartless laughter, his grip getting tighter. His words were like a sharp blade, tearing open my chest. "You're just like your mother, a vampire by nature." Those were the last few days of my mother's life. I went to her with a face full of scars, accusing her, blaming her, asking her directly, "What's the relationship between you and Uncle Leo?" She paled, the white mist from the oxygen mask layer by layer, her voice hoarse and deep. "Who told you?" "Leo." I cried again, telling her, "He said, if a mother can't do it, then the daughter should." My mother shook her head stiffly. Crying, I asked, "Mom, what do I do now?" That was the last thing I said to her, the last time I saw her. In my dreams, I kneeled in front of my mother's grave, telling her I was wrong, but it was a pair of soft, warm hands, smelling like a child's, that responded to me. It was Nick. Yet in an instant, his hands turned cold, his body stiffened, and I held him, crying loudly, shouting in confusion, "Is there anyone who can save my child?" No one could save him. I watched him take his last breath in my arms. In my dreams, tears streamed down my face. Later, I found out that my mother had almost been with Leo's father, but when she got sick and learned about my feelings for Leo, she wanted to help us. But by then, Lucy was by Leo's side. She took on that blame for my sake, even if she had to be harsh before leaving, to ensure I had a secure and prosperous future. But I disappointed her. I didn't keep the title of Leo's wife, couldn't keep my own child, and ended up with the same illness as her. Waiting is too long, and here, this is how I am, waiting day after day for Leo to come home. But this time, why am I already tired after just half an hour? Life seems to be slipping away. At this rate, I wonder if I'll make it to Christmas. Nick used to love Christmas the most. This year's Christmas gift is Circle. For Circle, I had to come here myself to see Leo. When Leo arrived, I was waiting downstairs in the old building. His face was pale as paper, his brows furrowed. Surprisingly, there was a touch of gentleness in his tone. "Why aren't you resting in your room? Your face looks terrible. Hasn't your stomach ailment improved?" "What stomach ailment?" "It's cancer. It's incurable." I avoided his hand that reached out to touch my forehead. "No need. I'm here to ask you, did you give Circle to Lucy?" "What Circle?" He didn't know what Nick's cat was named, simply gave it to Lucy and renamed it Rose. I couldn't laugh or cry, just faced him calmly. "Nick's cat belongs to him. Leo's eyes showed a mix of emotions. He reached out to gently touch my face, his expression filled with apologies that I couldn't ignore. Let's go upstairs first, we'll talk about the cat later. I couldn't wait for later. I just wanted Nick's cat. My voice rose uncontrollably, and when I was about to cough from the rising anger, I bent over, my face reddening, my vision blurred from coughing. Leo patted my back to help me breathe, but I pushed his hand away urgently, my expression desperate. Don't worry, I'm calling now. Taking out his phone, Leo glanced at the empty coffee table and snapped irritably, is no one here to pour a glass of water? Is everyone dead? It was rare that he cared if I had water to drink. After making the call nearby, I waited for Leo's response. He walked over, his tone determined, I'll get Circle back for you. Can you stay here and wait for me? Seizing the moment, I brought up another serious matter. Can you give me the portion of money that belongs to me after the divorce? I need money right now. I have to pay Eric back. He's not from a wealthy family, and I've spent too much of his money these days. I need to pay him back. Leaving the situation lightly is better. Are you here to ask me to find the cat or for money? I said, both. His expression became much more complicated. Dragging his weak body, he took a card out of the leather folder at the head of the bed and handed it to me, password, Nick's birthday. He remembered Nick's birthday, remembered that day, but never showed up. I took the card, but he didn't let go. I'll give you the money, but it's not a divorce settlement. Leo looked serious. Tiffany, wait for me. I'll go find Nick's cat, and we can start over. I've redecorated Nick's room, and we can celebrate his birthday together next time, okay? But I won't be around for Nick's next birthday. Why couldn't he have agreed to celebrate Nick's birthday earlier? It's too late. Leo is really too late. Waiting for him feels like a lifetime. Tortured by illness, I stared at the Pei family manor, remembering the first time I walked in here with my mother when Leo still looked like a young man. We got married here, in our wedding dress that night, but I didn't get anything I wanted. Soon after, my mother passed away, and I cried in our new house with Leo, but he found me annoying and threw me out. During the time when I was pregnant with Nick, I was immersed in sorrow. I realized it was too late for an abortion. During those months, Leo tried to persuade me to abort more than once. He really hated this child. But I refused. I raised Nick by myself, taking care of him, comforting him, and making sure he was warm and safe. He would break my heart with a tear, but his smile made me forget all my troubles. Nick knew his dad didn't love him or me. He harmed himself to get Leo to visit us. But that's not what I wanted. I just wanted Nick to be okay. I told him softly that I didn't want him to hurt himself, because he was the most important thing to me. But Nick didn't listen. He just wanted his parents to be together. Eventually, Leo found out, but even that didn't make him come back until he heard about Nick's death. He thought it was a joke. In this house, I met Leo, lost my mother, had a child and lost the child. I felt like I've reached the end. All these memories flashed through my mind. Leo came back in the early morning, holding a pure white cat in his arms. He touched my nose with the cat's paw. Tiffany, here's Circle. I found him for you. Is this Circle? My vision was fading. I hesitated when reaching out to grab the cat, noticing the different eye color, though the ears and size were similar, but not the same. It was intuition. Leo asked me, what's wrong? As he let the cat lay in his arms, saying to himself, when Nick was little, I was afraid having a pet would hurt him, and you'd be upset. So I didn't let him have one. I lowered my hand, deciding not to hold the cat. This isn't Circle, why find a fake one to deceive me? Nick would be disappointed if he knew. Leo, it's too late now. You don't need to lie to me. I've waited a lifetime here. But in the end, I didn't even get to see Nick's cat. Leo was stunned. Lie to you about what? This isn't Circle. I'm too calm, too sure. Where's Circle? He really went to Lucy's place to get him. And looking closer, there were marks on his face, his collar was crumpled. Seems like there was a fight between them, and he came back anxious and tired, but still brought the cat to please me. Circle fell from a height. Just half an hour after Leo called. Lucy was the culprit, but no one could hold her accountable. I felt pain and sadness, but I was numb. I had to go. Where do you want to go? Leo let the cat slip from his arms and asked for something. But what was he asking for? To go home. I felt drained, and as I blacked out before finding Nick, I muttered 3 words in front of Leo. It was noisy. Who was knocking on the door, calling my name? I tried my best to stay awake, but the fragmented noise in my hazy mind sounded like a man shouting and breaking things. The family doctor's collar was being grabbed. She's my wife, she's sick, why didn't you tell me? I saw it. The family doctor was standing next to him, with a cold look on Eric's face. He asked Leo, she's your wife, she's dying, and you only found out she had stomach cancer now. The family doctor tried to keep the situation under control. 2 months ago, I called you and you said Tiffany's issue had nothing to do with you. He should have known earlier. I breathed out slowly, the oxygen mask pressed against my face. The sound of my breath felt like a countdown, each breath was precious and difficult. Leo came closer, and before I died, I saw that proud man bow his head in front of me. He hesitated to hold my hand, afraid of hurting me. His hand hovered in the air, like a child breaking their beloved toy, trying desperately to mend it, but not knowing where to start. For a moment, he covered his face and I faintly heard his sobbing echo in the ward. It was really noisy. Couldn't he just leave me alone? Unfortunately, I couldn't speak, couldn't scold. I didn't know how much time had passed. Eric walked over, and as I blinked, I saw his white figure stand behind Leo. You're being too noisy. Get out, Leo shouted with a trembling voice. He cried for a long time, annoying me because people only realize their regrets when it's too late. What were you doing all these years? She's your wife, have you ever cared for her? Eric's words were piercing like a needle. You doubted us before, and even after we got married, you still doubted. Have you ever thought that she just wanted to be your wife? I feel sorry for Tiffany. I never expected her to get sick, really, I never expected. In the hospital, critically ill patients were everywhere. They couldn't eat, relied on pills to get by, coughing blood was the mildest. Enduring the pain of having their hearts and blood drawn happened hundreds of times a day. How could Leo know about this? He simply thought I was making a fuss about Nick's death, that I would still come back. They argued by my bedside, completely ignoring the fact that I was a dying person. Leo gently tucked my hand under the blanket, turned his back to Eric. Aren't you a doctor? Can you save Tiffany? She doesn't want to live anymore, no one can save her now. At this point, what Eric said was true. Leo, get out. The room fell silent. The sense of touch felt surreal. My hand was lifted and placed on Leo's cheek. He kissed my palm, tears streaming down. Why didn't you tell me you were sick? Because Nick was gone, you gave up on treatment. What should I do then? Is there even a little space for me in your heart? Leo used my limp hand to slap his own face. It's my fault. We are a married couple. Tiffany. Slap me when you wake up, scold me, hit me. I'm willing to take it. He called my name, I could hear it. I wanted to break free from his grip, because I saw Nick waving at me, calling me Mom, saying, Mom, it's so dark here, I'm scared. I wanted to run to hold him, but Leo's hand held onto me tightly. Why wouldn't he let go at a time like this? A needle pierced my skin, the pain made me furrow my brows, my toes curling, feeling like every bone joint was hurting. The medication entered my body, momentarily numbing the pain, but the pain of life was something no drug could erase. Someone at the end of the bed was busy. It was a doctor, a nurse, their anxious voices buzzing in my ears. The life signs on the monitor were very weak. At the brink of death, I seemed to see Nick again. He sat on a soft grassy field, his small body lying in the grass, lifted his head, his soft little face sporting dimples and a smile. He sweetly called me Mom. I wanted to embrace him, but someone was calling my name by my ear. The scene twisted, Leo's face appearing before me, calling my name, but I wanted to go with Nick, wanted to say stop and leave like this, my final wish. But he didn't stop. These days he brought the best doctors to save my life, but no matter how good the medicine was, it was useless for me. I had lost the will to live, my consciousness following Nick in my dreams. But in reality, Leo held me back, not letting me go. Until there was a fluctuation on the monitor. He had saved me. He claimed to be my savior, my life belonged to him now, asking me to cherish it. I lay in the hospital for a week, Leo never left my side. But I knew, I couldn't hold on much longer. At the end of life, I saw the last person I wanted to see. On Christmas Eve, Lucy stood by my bed, reveling in my misery, taunting my ugliness and sickness. She said, "It's karma. Leo's karma. 4 years he played me, used me, made me love him unconditionally, only to tell me he never loved me, even wanted to take back the cat he gave me. Why?" Her words hit me in my dying heart, gradually realizing that in the end, none of us got what we truly desired. "Tiffany, you must be wondering why he hated your child." She leaned in close, whispered the fatal blow while I still breathed, because he thought it was Eric's child, not yours. I told him, forged paternity test. And he believed. She laughed, tears welling up, he actually believed. He was actually glad when your child died, thought he could start anew with you. His supposed new beginning turned out to be the end. I struggled to decipher whether the intense pounding in my chest was anger or something else. Leo tried to comfort me but failed. "I should have known, you had lost so much weight, looked so pale, why didn't I realize you were sick?" He hadn't noticed. But I had told him. I had mentioned it before. That day, I asked, "My stomach keeps hurting lately, what if it's terminal?" Leo had just set down his chopsticks. "Don't talk like that. We won't let that happen. It's too ominous." But now it really is terminal. Doesn't he find that ominous? Christmas Eve nights were always lively and bustling. The Christmas tree looked beautiful, standing tall in the center of the mall, adorned with many decorations. Passers-by often stopped to take pictures, the twinkling lights illuminated every smiling face. I sat in the car, wrapped in heavy clothing, my hat covering my eyebrows, leaving only my eyes visible through the car window, gazing at the Christmas night. It was snowing, the snowflakes were white, very pure, just like Nick's eyes. They were smiling, yet also lost. That time, I sat in the car with Nick, he pointed at the Christmas tree, and said it was beautiful. As I looked along with him, I saw Leo and Lucy standing under the tree. They were taking a photo there. My heart clenched, so I quickly covered Nick's eyes. Through the snowstorm, it seemed like I could see Nick sitting under the tree in a red sweater, touching the small bells hanging on the Christmas tree. "Mom, this is so beautiful. It's really beautiful." However, Nick's smiling face was gone, replaced by Leo's worried expression, his arm around my shoulder, urging me to lean on him. "Tiffany. I'm so cold." He wanted to warm me up, but he forgot he was frozen too. "Should we go for a walk?" I shook my head, only glancing from afar, treating it as celebrating Christmas for Nick. The snow continued to fall. My strength was dwindling. Leo seemed to sense my body temperature dropping, then he rubbed my wrist, but there were large bruises left from the needles. "Tiffany, are you cold? Can you say something to me?" His cheek pressed against my forehead, it carried a fresh, clean scent, but it made me feel so distant, like it was from a past life. Over the years, the scents he left me with were mostly from Lucy. Sitting in the car, he and I watched the snow together, his voice soft, floating in my ears. "Tiffany, do you remember why I didn't explain things to you that year? I should have told you. Over these years, I've had many chances to tell you." The snowfall intensified. Is Nick over there cold? It doesn't matter. I'll soon be seeing Nick. After all, it was Nick's final wish. To always be with his mother. A frost seemed to form on my eyelids as I closed my eyes. I realized that in the end, what a person loses is their hearing. My soul felt detached from my body. But Leo's words kept going. "Tiffany, if Dad hadn't told me he was going to marry your mom, if he hadn't made me see you as a sister, we shouldn't have ended up like this. Don't you think so? Tiffany. Tiffany, are you very cold? Tiffany, wait for me." I didn't wait for him. I wanted to be far away from him, in the next life, or even the life after that, I never wanted to see this person again. The voice grew fainter and fainter. It sounded like crying, like someone calling me. The light became very dim. In my vision, it expanded and then contracted. I was so tired. My eyelids felt heavy. I couldn't lift my hands. I wanted to hug Nick, but all I caught was a shadow. I kept chasing and chasing, crying, shouting, running until the very end. Sweaty, out of breath, I finally saw Nick. He was holding a snow-white circle in his arms. Mom, you're here. This time, I finally grabbed Nick's hand.